Imagine standing in the heart of ancient Athens, the air thick with the murmur of debates, where ideas clash like swords and the fearless wisdom of Socrates echoes through the marble streets. Here was a man who dared to say, "I know that I know nothing," not as a confession of weakness, but as a declaration of profound strength. What if true confidence isn't about never being wrong? What if the deepest courage lies in admitting your mistakes, not as a loss, but as a gateway to growth? In a world obsessed with perfection and pride, Socrates teaches us a radical art: how to embrace humility without losing our self-respect, how to be boldly honest with ourselves and others, without fear or shame. This is the art of humble confidence, a quiet power that frees the mind and nourishes the soul. Are you ready to discover how to stand firm in your truth, even when it means saying, "I was wrong"? Socrates wasn't just a philosopher. He was a living challenge to everyone around him. In a society that prized wisdom and certainty, he chose a path that many feared, openly admitting ignorance. But why? Because Socrates understood something timeless: that knowledge isn't a fortress to hide behind, but a journey that requires openness and humility. Today, we live in a culture that often equates admitting mistakes with weakness or failure. Social media, workplaces, even personal relationships can punish vulnerability with judgment. Yet, Socrates offers a different perspective, one where admitting you're wrong doesn't diminish your worth, but actually builds a foundation of true confidence. This video will explore Socrates' timeless wisdom on humility and confidence, showing how embracing your imperfections can empower you rather than weaken you. We'll dive into psychological insights, real-world examples, and practical steps to help you practice this art in your own life. Because when you learn to say, "I was wrong," without fear, you unlock a deeper kind of strength, one rooted in self-awareness, respect, and the courage to grow. To truly grasp Socrates' message, we need to understand the world he lived in, a world where knowledge was power and admitting ignorance was almost unthinkable. In ancient Athens, public debate was not just intellectual exercise, but a matter of survival, reputation, and influence. Socrates stood out because he didn't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, he questioned everything, including his own beliefs. This method, now known as the Socratic method, was revolutionary. It invited people to confront their assumptions honestly, to strip away pretenses, and to seek truth through dialogue. But it also required a special kind of courage, the courage to admit when you didn't know, when you were wrong, or when your ideas needed to evolve. Fast forward to today, and we still face a similar challenge. The fast pace of life, instant judgments, and social pressures can make admitting mistakes feel like a personal failure rather than a learning opportunity. Yet modern psychology confirms what Socrates practiced. Humility is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence and authentic confidence. By learning from Socrates, we can redefine what it means to be confident, not as an armor of arrogance, but as a humble openness to growth and truth. This shift transforms how we relate to ourselves and others, fostering deeper respect, trust, and self-awareness. At the heart of Socrates' teaching lies a paradox. Admitting you're wrong is not a defeat, but the highest form of self-respect. This art of humble confidence unfolds in three key principles. 1. Embrace your ignorance as a starting point. Socrates famously said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." This isn't about doubting yourself endlessly, but recognizing that certainty can blind us. When you accept your limitations openly, you free yourself from the need to defend a false image. This humility creates space for genuine learning and growth. 2. Separate your identity from your ideas. Most people tie their self-worth tightly to their beliefs. When challenged, they feel attacked personally. Socrates taught that ideas are not who we are. They are tools we use to understand the world. When you see beliefs as flexible rather than fixed, admitting a mistake becomes a brave act of intellectual honesty, not a threat to your value. 3. Practice vulnerability with courage. Socrates' dialogues were acts of vulnerability, exposing his thoughts, inviting critique, and sometimes being proven wrong. This requires courage because it opens you up to judgment, but vulnerability builds trust and connection. It signals that you are secure enough in yourself to learn and adapt, which is the essence of humble confidence. Let's bring this into the modern world. Imagine a workplace where leaders admit their errors openly, creating a culture of learning, or relationships where partners accept their flaws without defensiveness. This is the transformative power of Socratic humble confidence. Let's step out of ancient Athens and into your everyday life. How can you practice the art of humble confidence right now? At work, imagine you're leading a team project and you realize a decision you made isn't working. Instead of hiding the mistake or blaming others, you openly acknowledge the error. You say, "I missed something here, let's adjust our approach." This not only builds trust but encourages your team to be honest and innovative. Leaders who admit mistakes foster stronger, more resilient teams. In relationships, we all have moments when we misunderstand someone or act out of pride. Instead of doubling down, try saying, "I was wrong and I want to understand better." This vulnerability creates space for healing and deeper connection. Your confidence shines through when you value the relationship more than being right. Within yourself, self-judgment can be harsh. When you notice a thought like, "I shouldn't have failed," try reframing it with humble confidence. "I'm learning, and it's okay not to have all the answers." This mindset reduces anxiety and opens doors for growth. Take the example of famous leaders like Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, who transformed the company culture by embracing a growth mindset, encouraging learning from failures and admitting when you don't know something. His humble confidence reshaped an entire corporate ethos. In your life, start small. Next time you catch yourself defending a mistake, pause, ask yourself, "Can I admit this openly without losing respect for myself?" The answer is yes, and that is the true strength Socrates wants us to embody. Key takeaways. 1. True wisdom begins with humility. Admitting you don't have all the answers is not weakness, but the foundation of growth and deeper understanding. 2. Your value is not tied to being right. Separating your identity from your ideas allows you to embrace mistakes without fear or shame. 3. Vulnerability is a sign of strength. Courageously admitting when you're wrong builds trust and respect, both with others and yourself. 4. Humble confidence transforms relationships and leadership. Whether at work, with loved ones, or within yourself, this mindset creates connection, resilience, and authentic power. Remember, Socrates' legacy teaches us that to hold tightly to pride is to imprison ourselves, while embracing humility is to step into true freedom. If this ancient wisdom has stirred something in you, don't let it fade away. Take a moment today to practice humble confidence. Reflect on one situation where you've been holding on too tightly to being right. What would it look like to admit, even silently to yourself, "I might be wrong here"? Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to embrace this powerful art. And if you found value in this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more insights that challenge and uplift your mind and soul. Remember, true strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising with honesty and grace every single time.